Man, A.J. Brown is electric. What's going on, folks? This is Coach Marcus from Pro Fan Talk. Let's talk about A.J. Brown for a minute. This dude is on a tear. He is doing some Hall of Fame level stuff. Whether or not he can keep that up is the question. But as of right now, nobody has been able to stop him for the last 5 games. He has been on an absolute tear on defenses across the NFL. Just as a comparison, I remember earlier in the season, you guys know I was a Kenny Gainwell fan. And I said what I said. Kenny Gainwell should be the number 1 running back coming off of his year last year. He had earned it, blah, blah, blah. And I don't backtrack off of that. But also, what I said was, once you saw what DeAndre Swift was doing, there was no misunderstanding who the best running back on the Eagles was. And he should be starting. And that's what's going on right now. This is the same situation with A.J. Brown. Last year, they both were balling. Jalen Hurts was spreading the ball around a little bit better. We had injuries a little bit last year. This year, ever since the conversation on the sideline, the targets for A.J. Brown have gone up. A.J. Brown has 75 targets to Devontae Smith's 50. So he's got 25 more targets. He's got about 500 more yards. So whatever A.J. Brown is doing, keep doing it. And this is a situation, again, I said this earlier about DeAndre Swift, and I'm saying it now about A.J. Brown. Yes, we want Devontae Smith to be involved. Yes, we want Dallas Goedert to be involved. But right now, they cannot stop A.J. Brown. And the reason why I say that is because they have had plenty of time to game plan him. They got enough tape to know what we're going to do. You cannot stop him. And then, of course, you have Dallas Goedert, you have DeAndre Swift, and of course, you have Devontae Smith. He is always going to be a threat. And now you add Julio Jones to the mix, a Hall of Fame receiver. Granted, at the end of his career, but guess what? He can still go up and get a ball being 6'3" over a 5'10" defensive back or safety. So we win that physical battle. Ultimately, this is all going to help the Eagles. You just keep feeding A.J. Brown the ball because there is no reason not to. Nobody has figured out a way to stop him. Let's take a look at his stats real quick. So right now, for receiving, Stephon Diggs is leading in receptions. Then you got Puka Nacua, Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown is number 4. And then you got Amon St. Ra from Detroit. But when you switch it up to the yards, Tyreek Hill is in front, A.J. Brown is number 2. Now, A.J. Brown only has 3 touchdowns. We've been spreading the ball a lot. And the biggest reason for that is we getting down in the goal line and we running the brotherly shove, getting it in the end zone. So Jalen Hurts is getting a lot of touchdowns that he really shouldn't. It is what it is. We win in games. So let's roll with it. You're talking about 52 receptions, 809 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's got 14 plays, 20 yards or more, 3 plays, 40 yards or more. His longest play this year is 59 yards. He's got 36 first down receptions. He's got, now here's a good one. A.J. Brown has 263 yak yards. Tyreek Hill has 351 because after he catches the ball, he just runs away from everybody. But A.J. Brown is breaking tackles. And he's fighting for them hard yards after he catches the ball, taking shots and all of that kind of stuff. He's being a physical receiver. And that's the one good thing about A.J., the way he catches the ball. You ever notice how he catches, now he's catching the ball strictly with his hands. And I've seen a few times where he catches the ball and just keeps the ball out with his hands to leave no misunderstanding that he is in control of the ball. He's bobbled a couple of balls on the sideline. So now he's really gripping that ball so people will know he's got a hold of it, he's in control of it. Again, there's no misunderstanding. So here's A.J. Brown from week 1. So against the Patriots, he had 7 catches for 79 yards. The Vikings, he had 4 for 29. And I can't remember if that was that the game he got mad? Then you had the Buccaneers, 9 catches for 131. This is where it starts. So yeah, I think that Viking game was the game that he had a conversation with Jalen and they had to calm him down. But if you remember, Devontae Smith went off that game. That's the only game that Devontae Smith has been over 100 yards, was that Vikings game. And he had a couple, that's right, he had a 63-yarder. He had 1 touchdown, so he had 4 catches for 131 yards. Devontae went off, and they bombing him. He averaged 32 yards per catch. All right, so we at A.J. Brown's charts. This is week 7. It's going backwards, so let's look at week 1. So here's what I like to see with A.J. Look at all his yak yards, right? So it goes from white to green. When it makes the change, that's where the catch is. And then the green is what he gets after he has the ball in his hand. So look at all his yak yards in week 1. And stats, 7 for 79 yards. That's a pretty good day. No score, right? So let's go. Let me see. Oh, that's week 3. Let me see. Week 4. Let's go to week 1. Yeah, we were right. That's week 1. And you know what? It skips the whole week. I don't know. But this is week 3. So he was, yeah. So he's targeted 14 times, 9 receptions, 131 yards. But again, you look at the green, that's his after the catch, right? So look what he does when he gets his hands on the ball. He's breaking tackles. Look at this one right here. He gets his hands on the ball and he's going. You can see all of these right here, especially when he's cutting back. This is when you know he's breaking tackles. You can just tell the way it goes. Then we go into, this is week 4. Again, look at his yak. You're talking about 13 targets, 9 receptions, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 2 tutties, and he's killing it. Look at this long one. I remember that play. That's the one where Zacchaeus came down there and made the blocks, but look at what he's doing. I believe he broke through 2 tackles right here, or ran in between them. But you can see he broke tackle right here. Then he goes out of bounds on this comeback route. His yards after catch is just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. I remember that catch out of bounds. All of this breaking away from tackles. When you see that long change in green, you know he's making something happen. He's getting those yak yards, and they can't stop that. They can't stop it. This is week 5. 8 targets, 6 receptions, 127 yards. Another good day. But again, look at what he does. Catches the ball, turns around, comes back. He gets another 9 yards out of this play right here. Another 9 yards. And in this play right here, he's catching the ball. This is a 5, 10, 15. This is a 19-yard catch that he turns into 30, 35, almost a 40-yard catch. Like, he's killing it. He's killing it. That was a catch out of bounds. Incomplete. Or not incomplete, but caught the ball and he immediately went down, out of bounds, all that kind of stuff. But the way he catches the ball and does damage after he catches the ball, that's what you want from your elite receivers. Once they get the ball in their hands, they go make plays. That's what you want from your playmakers. They get paid to make plays. Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. And that's what A.J. Brown is doing. And nobody's been able to stop him. Nobody. And you had 5 weeks to game plan. So now we are in the perfect situation with the Eagles offense. And this is where you just got to pray that Brian Johnson really gets this together in calling his offense. And the Brian Johnson thing is a nitpick, but it's the most important nitpick because all of his issues, in my opinion, seem to come when he's in the red zone. That's where we're struggling right now. We're still struggling in the red zone. It was better last week. I believe we were 4 for 6, but for the most part, we gotta straighten that up for the long run. And Jalen's got to stop turning the ball over. So we can't have any more fluke interceptions. He's got to hold on to the ball. He's had 2 strip sacks. So we got to do a better job on that. But as far as A.J. Brown goes, keep feeding him the ball. I know you want to spread the ball out, but if can't nobody stop him, I said the same thing with DeAndre Swift. If nobody can stop us from running the ball, keep running the ball until they prove they can stop it. If nobody can stop A.J. Brown, having all of this film, seeing what he can do, and you had a chance to game plan him and you still can't stop him, you keep feeding him the ball until they prove they can stop him. Nobody's done that. So I don't really see Washington doing that to A.J. Brown. Or maybe this will be the game that Devontae Smith shows up, because he always seems to have good games against Washington. He's guaranteed for at least one catch where he jumps in the air 10 feet and brings the ball down. That seems to be his signature move when we play the Commanders. So let's hope we can do that. I don't expect us to have to go to overtime with Washington this time. We are the better team. We got to show it on the field, and we got to put these boys to bed. But like I said in some of my other videos, Washington always gives us problems. It's always a tough game when we play Washington. So for once, we got to dominate the lines of scrimmage. They have a good defensive line, very similar to how good the Jets were. They do have a good defensive line. So our O-line has got to be ready to go. We have to be able to establish the run, and maybe we can get DeAndre Swift outside instead of trying to run everything tackle to daggone tackle. Set up some outside sweeps and some quick pitches, and even if you want to go jet sweep, do what you got to do. But let's get this kid outside so he can beat some people around the corner. Let's set up some mismatches. So you got him on a linebacker or a defensive end, depending on what kind of scheme they're running. And let's take advantage of that. We should be winning all of these chess matches, all of them. We are too dangerous across the board on our offense. So as far as defense goes, there is zero reason why Sam Howell should have another game like he did last time on us. No way. There is no way Sam Howell should do that to us again. We got to get in his face, get pressure, and get his behind on the ground. There's no way we should be going into overtime, or this should not even be a close game. It should not be. But like I said before, for whatever reason, Washington always gives us a game. No matter how bad they are projected to be or how bad they're playing, when Philly comes to town, this is going to be a rough and tumble one. So hopefully we can take care of our business, because we're a lot different team than we were when we played them the first time. But we got to show it on the field. We got to show it on the field. So I'm looking for either AJ or Devontae to have a day. But if you're going to look at the past 5 games, it's going to be AJ Brown. And I don't see where our offense should change. They can't stop it. I don't see Washington's secondary being able to hang with us. And our offensive line has got to protect and give Jalen Hurts some time, because I don't want him getting hurt. So let's take care of business against against the Commanders. Let's get through, and hopefully we can have a clean game, no injuries, and we can get ready for the next week. And you already know what that is. If you like the content, please subscribe to the channel, click on that notification bell so you do not miss a play. And if you don't mind, take a look at my YouTube channel, check out my top 10 playlist, and play all. I'd appreciate that. But you guys have a good one. Go Birds.